Hello and welcome to The Hero Spouse. I'm Kenda Ruth, here to answer one of your questions about marriage and midlife crisis. Today we have Nick. Nick has a bomb drop of February 1st, 2020, a date of marriage of 2011. His wife is a clinging boomerang and a low energy wallower. Nick says the divorce was finalized November of this year. I'm so sorry, Nick. He says that I've spent loads of time with my MLCer since August when she broke it off with the affair partner. I'm assuming that the acronym is affair partner. He says I then found out that she's still in contact before she started this week to test. One day she told me she could not talk as he was there. 2 days later, despite us having spent time together again, she texted me to ask me out on New Year's Eve with her and him. I told her no, that all the time she is in contact with him, we're not spending time together. I'm going to have a question with you on that, Nick. Are you saying if she sees him, she can't see you at the same time? Or are you saying while she is seeing him, she's not going to have any kind of contact with you? So you've been seeing him for 3 months and that 3 months, but if she sees him on Saturday, you won't see her, agree to see her on Saturday, but you'd see her on Sunday. Which is it? Because it feels like you'll see her on Saturday, but if she's not seeing him on Saturday, that's what it feels like you're saying. But it feels like you're telling her the other, you're explaining it one way, but you're actually acting it out the other. That's what it feels like. It seems like you continue to have this contact with her. And so the boundaries you're setting aren't really as strong as you're making them try to sound. So you told her as long as that while she's in contact with him, we're not spending time together. Then followed how depressed she was. So I think she followed up with how depressed she was. How much she loves you, but not in a romantic way. How I need to find someone else. So she told you you need to find someone else. And then you're saying, it's so confusing as I 100% know that we were coming together. And why is she texting me asking if I will go out with her and him? That's a ridiculous thing to say. I agree. And then your question, is this testing the withdrawal stage? Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you no. I tell you no, this testing is not a withdrawal stage. Okay. And the reason I'm going to tell you that is because we are looking at something that, sure, we have these MLC dynamics. And sometimes we get so focused on midlife crisis, and we are thinking of that as this finite period of our life. And it might be finite but long. So we're thinking of it. We go along in life, and then we hit age 46. And I say 46 because that's the average age of bomb drop. You might be 42, you might be 52, but I'm going to say 46. And let's say that you have a 7-year crisis. And so we're going to plop a 7-year tunnel down in the middle of your life. Bam! And in that 7 years, you go through all these stages and things. Bam! And then you're done. And it's this messy thing within that tunnel. But think of it as a tumor with this nice fascia around it, that the tunnel. And you can excise it out of your life, and there it is. But that's not what it is. MLC comes from childhood. It isn't something that just, it is not a cancer that just is inserted into your life. And you can excise it out of your life. Okay? It has been with you the whole time, or with her, or within both of you, some of these dynamics that you are going through. And what you are going through right now is you are going through a lot of codependence. You two are going on the drama triangle. I'm seeing some things that are similar to trauma bonding. I'm not sure that I should call it trauma bonding, because I don't know if I'm seeing the trauma and the love bombing, and the trauma piece and love bomb, and trauma and love bomb. That could be part of it. I don't know. But it's that there's the coming and the going, and the coming and the going. And there is this bonding piece that goes in there. There's an addiction cycle and then a let go. A love bomb where the addiction hooks in and the trauma, but then I'm so sorry. This is a trauma bond. And I'm not saying that it's a trauma type of bond. I'm just saying there's an analogy to it. And it's a codependent cycle is what you are in a pattern of. And my point is this is not isolated to the midlife crisis, but the questions you're asking, and this is for everybody, many of you are asking here. When you ask me the questions, you're asking me questions about, is this part of this stage? And in many ways, some of those are pieces of that stage, but we are still bringing those pieces from our past and the way we deal with them, the coping skills, and we're bringing those into these stages. And we are infusing how we handle them in those stages. And how we handle them is something we're going to take out with us as well. So when the withdrawal stage is done, we still take our coping skills with us. Okay? And we have to work through those coping skills, especially if we are falling into negative patterns. We need to learn to recognize them, learn what is triggering those negative patterns, how to get out of them, if we can recognize them, we can go, okay, wait, I am falling into a negative pattern. I know that when I lose control, emotional control, and get into a panicky situation inside, I fall into these negative patterns because that's what I did as a kid. This is how I was taught. And I learned many years ago not to do that, but when I fall back into a panic situation, it's just, that's where my brain goes. Because I'm in non-thinking mode when you go into panic. And that's what I'm doing right now. And recognize when that happens. Because that's what's happening here. So you're in a codependent cycle with her. And it's not going to stop unless somebody stops it. She has you there. She has no need to move forward and heal and figure herself out. There's no need for her to look in the mirror because there is somebody there to hold her up and help her and massage her and tell her she's all good and fine. And that's you. There is somebody holding the crutches and helping her move, and she's not healing on her own. In other words, let's look at it this way. The butterfly is trying to exit out of the cocoon and come out. And the way it does this, it becomes the butterfly as it has to stretch, to push its way out. It pushes its way out of the cocoon. If you come in and you help it, it will not build the muscles that it needs. It will not gather the strength that it needs in pushing itself out, and it will die. You will not help it to survive by helping it to get out of its chrysalis. You can't help her transform, in other words. And you can't help her exit her transformation. She has to do it on her own. And you're so worried. Is this her withdrawal? Is this her this? Is this her this? Is this her coming home to me? Is this her these things? And you keep trying to pick her up as she's doing it. And we all are doing it. We're all wondering the same thing as we're watching our spouses, because we're watching them. Because we're anxious, aren't we? Because of that anxious attachment. Are they there yet? Do they love me? Are they coming home? Are they okay? You're wondering, and I can't risk losing her. And if I look away, if I let go, what if she doesn't come back? If I let go, what if something even worse happens? Not if she doesn't come back, but what if she falls? If I let go, it's like the mother who says, if I don't let my child come in, and stay. My homeless child, my drug addicted homeless child, just come in and stay off the streets for this one night. What if this is the one night? What if I don't tonight? This is the night that something bad would happen and they die. Then it's my fault. But it's not. It really isn't. And it could have been any night. But that mother will blame themselves. And it doesn't mean it. So everything you do is a risk when you let go. It is always a risk. But you are codependent with her. And somebody has to stop it because she has to build herself up. She is the only person who can do it. You do it from the sidelines by cheering her on. This is the only kind of hand we give. We don't give a hand like this. We don't give a hand like this in this situation. Because at this point, they are the butterfly coming out. And she has to do it on her own. And so here's what I want for you, Nick. I want that it's boundaries. It is telling her flat out, no, I won't go out with you. And I won't, I love you. Yeah, you are fully aware of, allowed to tell her that I love you. You know that. But I do not, you need to stop calling me. And I want you to stop calling me because I need you to figure out yourself and tell. And when you're ready, when you figure that out, call me. And if you need to call me in 6 months, every 6 months you can call me and just say, hey, I'm just checking in. Maybe you can make it 3 if you really want to, but don't make it more often than that. You can call me to tell me in 3 months you're just checking in. Hey, I'm still here. I'm just checking in. That's okay. Just checking in, letting you know I'm still here. I'm okay. But other than that, let her go. And sometimes you have to force her go. You cannot, I'm not going out on New Year's Eve with me. What you're doing is inappropriate. And it's creepy. She's just asked you out with her and the other man. That's disrespectful to you. It's disrespectful to the relationship you had. You are allowed to let her know those things. And not doing it. Yes, it's a ridiculous thing to say as you said it. Did you tell her that? Because by not doing that, you're the one. See, it's not just her that is a clinging boomerang. You are the clinging boomerang. Have you noticed that? You're the clinging boomerang. Because you continue to allow this. And then maybe it's behind the scenes and she can't tell, or maybe she can tell. But you come to and ask, is this the stage? Is this her wanting to, is this her feeling of this? You're wanting it so much. Yes, she needs you, but it's both directions. And I want you to also explore that. I want you to explore that in some therapy. If you're willing, explore that in some therapy. And especially if you can go through some trauma therapy and explore that and figure out how to go through the codependence. Because I don't want you to be codependent with her. If you are to reconcile, or not really, you do not want to reconcile into a codependent relationship. You want to be interdependent. That means that you are able to be together, and yet you are confident and self-assured enough that you want each other to survive on your own. In other words, if I die, I know that you will be okay. I know that you'll grieve, but I also know that you know how to pay the bills. And I know that you know how to cook and drive. I know that you can survive. I know that I will have left enough money for you, or you will have enough money for me, that sort of thing, hopefully. Or we will have, left enough for each other. But we don't need each other to breathe. We're not star-crossed. You're so codependent. You don't know who you are without each other, and you are doing this dance, and you're bringing other people into it. okay? And it's not fair to them. It's not fair to you. And it's not healthy. And so that's what I want you to figure out. This is not about withdrawal. It's about setting boundaries, but you need to set them with yourself as well. Set them with yourself. I am not going to let her. It's not that. Call me. So when she calls, I don't answer. So when she texts, I don't answer. Maybe you put up blocks on those. I don't know. I don't have texting, remember? But you need to say no. But not only no, I'm not going out with you, but you need to stop texting me. 3 months. But other than that, no. Okay? And then you can check back every 3 to 6 months. Okay? You can do this, Nick. You can do it. Okay. And the kids are calling me. So I hope this helps. And I will see everybody in the next question.